Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alex Edgington coming at you live from Wells Fargo Arena for the second round of the Iowa State High School Duels. This round will feature your Independence Mustangs versus the Albia. I'm at a loss for their name. Anyway, we will be starting at 145 pounds, which features.
They're making their second straight appearance and 10th overall appearance in the state dual meet tournament this year. The Lions have compiled a record of 23-3 during today's competition. Lisbon is a member of the Tri-Rivers Conference and look to improve upon last year's sixth-place finish in the state duels. Their opponents on mat number 1 are the Sigourney Keota Savages. Sigourney Keota is making its first ever appearance in the state dual team championship. The Savages are led by Coach J.J.
We will be having one of the house boys starting on their feet here at 145 pounds.
The Savages were champions of the South Iowa Cedar League Conference Tournament this year.
House is taken down with a single leg. It's Seth House versus Bryce Leschen, who's a senior for Albia. He's 25-1. Leschen is riding the hips rather close at the moment, with 1:09 left to go in the first period. Seth needs to realize he's close to the edge of the mat. There he goes, gets himself pushed out of bounds, and they go to restart position with Seth being down. 58 seconds left to go in the first period. Seth suffered a real close loss there in the first round. Ended up getting pinned with about 20 seconds left, but it was 2-0 at that point. Restart, Seth is up quick and then brought back down to the mat. Albia is throwing in a bar arm on the left side. Just sitting behind House's hips. Bryce has now moved to the outside. Seth's trying to fight off the bar arm. He gets turned to his back. Albia's getting points. Ooh, this is tight. And there's the fall. Seth falls by pin to Bryce Leschen from Albia. 152, we will have Seth's brother, I think they're brothers, Luke, wrestling.
The Bulldogs are members of the Top of Iowa Conference and have 2 regular season tournament championships to their credit.
And Luke will be taking on
the state dual team championships, their first since winning it all in 2000. Wrestling on mat number 4,
Blake Lawless, who's a senior from Albia. Lawless in and double underhooks right off the bat. House fights him off. And they get rotating towards the edge of the mat. Now we're circling in again. House is doing a really good job of pummeling in. We get a shot down there by Albia. Now they're back up to their feet. A shuck by into a single leg for Mr. Blake Lawless. Luke's trying to stamp his foot down, break his grip, throws in a whizzer, drops down and ends up giving the takedown on the edge of the mat. Whistle blows and they'll be starting fresh. In the first round, Luke had a really good match, ended up winning 9-4 over his opponent. Whistle blows and we're starting. Albia drives him down, flattened him out. Luke's working his base up, gets his base out. Albia breaks him back down. We get him with a bar arm on the right side now, trying to load him up on his hip. Luke's fighting it, sees that he's at the edge of the mat, starts crawling towards it. And we go out of bounds. It's good mat awareness there by Luke House, realizing and understanding where he's at and working to improve. We'll start over with 37 seconds left to go in the first period. Luke's instantly up to his feet and then brought back down to the mat by Blake Lawless.
Two down with a record of 14-1.
Now we're going for a cheap tilt with an underhook. Luke flattens himself out, no back points. Blake has moved into a bar arm on the right side again, and he's trying to run it, but gets called for potentially dangerous. Looks like he let his wrist slip too high. And we'll start over. 9 seconds left to go in the first period. Score 2-0. Luke is down. Whistle blows. Try to get out quick. That's the end of the first period. Score still 2-0. Luke's choice. Defers. Albia chooses down. Right off the whistle, Luke basically lets him go. Albia's out and away, 3-0. We've got double underhooks for Blake Lawless, shoving Luke. Oh, we've moved into the cow catcher. Luke's trying to get his base out front. Good, ends up slipping the hand. Now we're into a front headlock position. Luke's at the edge of the mat. Great shuck by Albia, but we move out of bounds. We starting over on our feet, 3-0. Good mat awareness. Into a tight tie. Cheap shot by Luke. Moving in on that ankle. Albia goes into that front headlock again. Kind of been sitting there for the last couple periods. Luke's got his base up and Albia's just riding the head on that front headlock. Stalemate starting over. 57 seconds to go in the second period. Scored 3-0. Blake Lawless is 30-3 on the year for Albia. This is the 8th seeded Albia versus your number 5 seed Independence Mustangs. Luke's in on a nice single leg. Albia ends up coming out on top. We get to our feet into a funny tie. And Albia shucks him down with a duck under. Slips around behind and takes him down for 2. Score 5-0 with 20 seconds to go in the second. Really working a bar arm now. Luke's working on climbing to his base. Slips into a butcher. Trying to circle around the head. Luke's got a pretty solid base on him, and he won't be going over before the period's over. We're moving on to the third period. Score 5-0. Blake Lawless over Luke House. And we have blood time, it looks like. Just a recap, in the first round, Independence took on Clarion Goldfield Dows, and it came down to the very end. Ended up Independence losing 36-33. Hard-fought battles all the way through at every weight. A couple of things here and there that could have gone either way. Some in Independence's favor, some in Clarion's favor. It was a great duel. Definitely the way you wanted to start off. We just couldn't pull out the win. We're now wrestling 8th-seeded Albia. And we are in the second match. With Luke House versus Blake Lawless. Blake Lawless is 30-3. Luke House on the year is 11-10 according to the book. Blood time's all cleaned up. Looks like Luke took the down position. We start the third period with Luke down. Score 5-0. Team score is 6-0 in favor of Albia. Start of the third. Luke gets away, up on his feet right off the bat. Great hand control.
Anderson is ranked number 8 at 152.
Now we're in an over-under tie. Albia really pushing hard. Be great if we could get a nice little duck under, a shuck by. There's the shuck by. Ooh, just missed by Luke. Couldn't grab the ankle. It was right there. Albia putting a lot of pressure into Luke. Got a great chance. Oh, now we're into double underhooks. Here comes a cow catcher. Right on the edge of the mat. Luke's fighting it. Great base. He's got his leg out, posting. Needs to realize where he's at. Moves to the outside. Right there at the edge of the mat. Luke goes in for a trip. Ends up slipping behind. Ooh, gives up the 2 right at the edge of the mat. Tried to go for that trip and ended up getting flattened. We now have a score of 7-1 with 1 minute and 2 seconds to go in the third period between Blake Lawless and Luke House. At 152 pounds here down at the bank, Wells Fargo Arena. Albia gets in on a nice single leg, takes him down, lets him up, scored now 9-3. Looks like Albia's looking for the major. They need one more takedown to get it with 37 seconds left. Pushing towards the edge of the mat, tries a shuck by. We're out of bounds with 32 seconds left. This would be big for the team score if Luke could fight off for 30 seconds and hold off on not letting Albia end up with that major. Start off the bat, Albia's really pushing in again. Just pressure, constant pressure, always moving forward. Sure enough, we move into a front headlock now. Albia slips around behind, and we now have a score of 11-5. Is this 11-4, 3? Yeah, I don't know. The announcer or the score system got moved over there. It's 11-3 with 8 seconds to go. That'll be the end of this match. Luke House loses by major decision to Blake Lawless of Albia Senior. Team score now reads 10-0. And we move on to the 160 weight pound class. Albia has multiple individuals listed at 160 pounds. Get the start. Jake Jewell in and gets a takedown right away. I don't know who the Albia opponent is. Get into a scramble situation. Albia gets out for 1. It's Brett Martin, a sophomore who's 20-6 on the season for Albia. Jake Jewell still on the leg. Riding strong now. Never gave up the escape. Great scramble. Drops down to the ankle. Takes him straight to the mat on a trip. Jake riding really strong, sticking with everything the kid's throwing at him. Now we've got a cheap tilt through the waist. Picks up 2 back points. Great job by Jake recognizing where he's at. Good hips. Now looking for a near side cradle. Sticking in on the leg. Looking for the leg Turk. Right on the edge of the mat. We have a score of 4-0. 50 seconds to go on the edge of the mat. They move out of bounds and we'll start fresh. Jake moves right off into a front headlock position from the down. Looking for a cow catcher. It's not there. Lets the kid go. We're back on our feet. 4-1. Jake instantly in on another single. Outside single. Great shot. Lifts it. Has the takedown. We move to 6-1. Jake looking for another tilt. The old ball and chain. Lots of pressure, lots of heavy pressure from Jake. Breaking him down, flattening him out. There we go. Good tilt. Good tilt. Ball and chain straight onto his back. I believe he only ended up with a 4 count. But great mat awareness there by Jake. And we moved to 8-1 as the score heading into the second period. Jake had a wonderful tilt there. We start off on our feet. Jake, heavy hands, working the front headlock, moving into a takedown. Scores 10-1. We're just looking for big points here from Jake in this match. Albie is hanging his head. He's just fighting to stay alive. Riding the hips hard, down pressure, lots of heavy pressure from Jake. That's what you like to see. Working a wrist back. He's got a 2-on-1 wrist control. He's slowly moving it back. Albia pops his hips up and then gets flattened instantly. We're right here on the edge of the mat. Jake's looking for another tilt, seeing if he can sneak one in there before they go out of bounds. Lifts him straight up in the air. He's got a tilt, straight to his back. We're looking for the pin right on the edge of the mat. Albia's trying to push himself out. It's close. It's close. I can't tell if the shoulder's on the edge or not. But Jake's looking for a pin. He sucks him in. Looking like he's got a half Nelson right now. It's tight, and he's turned the Albia kid in. Oh, but he rolls right on through. And he sucks him back. Running with a 3/4 now. Albia rolls through. It's now 13-1. That was a slick little straight to your back takedown by Jake. The kid popped up trying to get an escape, and Jake ended up with a high crotch, bringing him down, turked him straight to his back, moved into the half Nelson. Now we've got 13-1. That was very well done by Jake. Oh, cow catcher right off the whistle on the restart. Jake moved out front. He's got him straight to his back. He's got it tight. Looking for a Saturday Night Ride. Moves into the front headlock. There's the fall. Great job by Jake Jewell. Just staying aggressive the entire match. Absolutely wonderful. Knew exactly what he needed to do. Finished it off. Great job by Jake. We now move on to the 170 weight class. For Independence, I've been warned that they like to jiggle their lineup. So I'm looking to see who they send out. I do believe Nicholas Holt will be on the mat, but I am not positive at the moment. Yep, you'll have Nicholas Holt taking the mat at 170 pounds for Independence versus what I do believe is Trevor Cromray, but I'm going to wait for track. Yep, it is Trevor Cromray. Track Wrestling just confirmed that. Heading into this 170-pound match, this is the 4th match. The team scores 10-6. Albia is in the lead right now. They won the first 2 with Jake Jewell picking up a pin in the last match. A lot of heavy hands by these Independence wrestlers. I really like where they're at. They're always pushing. Looking aggressive. There's a fireman's carry by Nick. Looking to go straight to his back. Lets it slip. We got takedown by Nicholas Holt through the firemen's. It's 2-0 with 1:30 to go. Nick lets him go. Really confident in his ability on his feet. Heavy hands again on the edge of the mat. Nick's got a lot of pressure. He's pushing. We roll out of bounds. Albia looks to be a little bit frustrated, in my unprofessional opinion. We're moving heavy hands by Nicholas Holt. Great single leg. Looking for another fireman's. Picks it up. Goes for back points. Can't quite get it. Albia's hips just turn over. Now Nick out to the side working wrist control. We got score 4-1 with 1 minute to go in the first. Nicholas Holt just staying on the offensive. Always looking to score right now. Very, very good. He's got the arm. 90-degree angle across the back. We're looking really good if we try and switch in a Farmers here. He's looking for it. About 38 seconds to go in the first period. Working heavy hips. A lot of down pressure here. Nick's got a deep waist. Looks like he's trying to work in a bar arm since the Farmers wasn't there. Albia slips his hand out up to his base. We got a stall call on Albia. Nick has just been pounding him, absolutely moving for positive, positive, positive. Drops down to an ankle as Albia stands up, back down. And that'll be the end of the first period. Nicholas Holt leading 4-1. Albia defers going into the second period. Nicholas Holt chooses feet. Let's just see him stay aggressive here. He's already got one stall call against Albia. Let's just keep moving. Heavy hands again, really going with those head taps. There we go. There's some heavy hands. Moving in on the single leg, outside single. Little fireman's. That's 3 firemen's for Nick Holt this round. This has been a clinic right now. Moving forward. Nick's got 2-on-1 wrist control as the kid stands up. Nick lets him go. We're looking at a score of 6-2, a minute 30 to go in the second period. We're doing pressure again. We're pushing, pushing, pushing. Albia's on the edge of the mat. Nick circles back to the middle, giving himself a little room to probably work again on that outside single. Move it right into a fireman's. Here it comes. Here it comes. Albia knew it was coming. Nick hops sides, drops down to the ankle, picks up 2. Great, great shot adjustment by Nick. Felt it wasn't there, instantly slipped to the other side, drove cross body, right on the edge of the mat, picked up 2. We have a score of 8-2 with 1 minute to go in the second period. Nick moves out front, instantly goes for the cow catcher off the whistle. Albia stands up, but there's a lot of pressure. Nick's just got to bring him down. Bring him down just a little bit. Heavy, heavy. There it is. There it is. Oop. Lets it slip out. Must have slipped when he had that, when he's going heavy on the Albia kid. Now we're hand fighting. Score of 8-3 with 40 seconds to go. Nick in again on a single. He's got his head buried. Tries to come around the outside. Needs to pop his head out. Brings the leg up. Lifts. Needs to pop his head to the outside. He's got it buried right underneath the guy. Lifts it. Gets a single trip. Looking for 2. Slides out of bounds. Oh, it was right there. Right there. Nick just needs to pop his head to the outside instead of getting buried underneath. It was a great shot. Just need to finish. We've got blood time for Albia. Or inhaler time, it looks like. We have a little break in the action as Albia gets a puff on his inhaler, and we move forward from here. We've got about 12 seconds left here in the second period. I'll reiterate the score. Nick Holt is up 8-3. Team score is Albia up 10-6 after 3 matches. We've moved into the heart of Independence's lineup. Starting off the whistle, Nick Holt goes in, over under. He's pummeling in for position. 6 seconds left, looking for his shot. Gets a shot in with 3 seconds left. Looks to finish. Gets to. Oh, ref says no. I slightly disagree, but it's the ref's choice, and I'm all the way up in the press box. 8-3, moving into the third period. Nick will be on top. Looking for a heavy ride right now. Nick ends up letting him go right off the bat. I wonder if we're thinking takedown clinic for the third period. Looking for a major. It's 8-4 with a minute 50 to go. Nick in on a really good single leg. Drives across the body. Picks up the second leg. We got 2 points. Nick's on the edge of the mat. Minute 42 to go. 10-4 is the score. Nick looking for a head lever. He's got to suck him in, though, if he wants to go that way. He's trying to run him on the right side, which would run him out of bounds. He's to just bring him up over his hip, turn him just a smidge. Albia crawls, tries to crawl out of bounds. Nick moves out of bounds, wants to restart. Minute 17 left to go, 10-4 in the third period. It's been a takedown clinic for Nick Holt. Right off the bat. Nick looks for the cradle, picks it up to his back. There it is. There's the fall for Nicholas Holt. What a wonderful cradle. Got team score now of Independence 12, Albia 10. Nick Holt put the hands on the kid's back right to start off the off the whistle, and stepped up, slipped inside the leg with one hand, around the head with the other, and straight to his back for a cradle. We move on to 182. Looks to be Elliot Ryan of Independence. Taking on, I assume, Ben Mason of Albia. Ben Mason is a sophomore, 24-11 on the season. And Elliot Ryan instantly, right off the bat, is in on a single leg, lifting it up to his chest, trips. Albia looks for the wizard, can't get it. There's the takedown, and we're moving in. We're looking for a cradle right off the bat. I've been told Elliot Ryan enjoys cradles, and he's got this locked up to his back. Gets out to the side, slips the leg out, tightens it up, and he's got a fall. We took 34 seconds there, folks, for a cradle and a fall for Elliot Ryan. Team score has moved on to 10-18 after 5 matches. Elliot Ryan went out there like a man on a mission. Got into that single leg with the ankle pick, lifted it up to his chest, took him to his back, cradled him up. That was all she wrote, folks. 34 seconds. Moving on to 195-pound class, we've got Matt McMillan versus Jacob West. Matt McMillan, a senior. Jacob West, a senior as well. Matt looking for that shuck by, gets in on a low ankle, slings into a double leg on the edge of the mat, gets his 2, then moves out of bounds. Good start by Matt McMillan. 17 seconds in, we've got a nice little takedown. Matt McMillan looking in for a breakdown, looking for a switch from Albia. Good hips by Matt, way to ride him across. Presses him back to the mat, flattens him out, they move out of bounds. Started off fresh, looking for a breakdown. This kid's really looking for a switch against Matt. Matt's got great hips, keeping himself levered, ends up pinning a wrist. Now he's riding 2-on-1, flattens out Jacob West of Albia. Looks to be barring up the arm, locked up the wrist on the far side already. He's just got to kick his leg free, and now this will be baby steps, folks. It's like a clinic. Slow and sure. Here we go. Baby steps around the head. He knows he's got a minute left. Just going to take his time. Comes around, slips to the head. Albia seems to be a little fishy, squirmy. Gets out. There were back points. Looks like we've got 2 for back points. Matt's relocked up the bar arm, and he's walking it slow. And he's got that dug in deep all the way across. He hops sides to the back now. Tries pushing pressure down on his head to peel him back. Almost had it. Got a potentially dangerous call against Matt. Looks to be like that'll be, must have had the arm slip with the bar arm is what the ref's telling him. Couldn't let it, he didn't tee it up. So with 20 seconds left in the first period, Matt McMillan is up 5-0. Looking to ride him out. We got a caution on Green. That'd be Matt. Jump before the whistle. Stop sides. Now he's going to start from the left side. Riding that wrist control again. 2-on-1. Flattens out Albia. Matt's just a heavy hips. He's got the bar arm locked up already. He's walking it. There's back points before the end of the period. Oh, he didn't give it to him. We got a couple one counts. I thought they were running them together, but it was just one count each time. Albia defers. Matt McMillan chooses down. It's 5-0 going into the second period. Off the whistle. Matt puts out a solid base. He's working his way up. Albia's riding really heavy up towards Matt's head. Lots of pressure up towards Matt's head. He's got to clear his hips, work his way up, get his head off the mat. Matt's looking for a switch, gets his arm caught, stands up, faces him running out of bounds. Gives him one. They'll start on their feet. That's a good job by Matt. Great hustle. Way to turn and face him right before he hit the out-of-bounds line. Nice job by Matt McMillan. Minute 31 left to go in the second. We start on our feet. Score 6-0. Team score 18-10. Independence is ahead. Matt pummeling in, working an over-under. Moves into head control. Steps out of bounds. One thing I've noticed about these Independence kids, they're always moving forward. Attack, attack, attack. I really like it. We're aggressive. We're really aggressive on our feet. Moving in again. Matt's got an underhook. Looks for a single. Ends up stepping out of bounds. Blood time on Albia. Oh, no. Ref says, no, I don't think so, sir. We aren't giving you a break. Matt, right off the whistle with a low ankle pick. Trips him down, gets his two out of bounds. 59 seconds left, scores 8-0. Matt McMillan looking for, now that he's got the major wrapped up, we're looking for a tech fall or a pin here, and Albia finally calls blood time. Looks to me like Independence has really come to wrestle today. They haven't thrown away a match. They haven't given anything up. They've fought every match, been super aggressive. I've been really impressed with the way they've come. That just speaks towards their coaches and the kids' ability to prepare. Just been very impressed. They cut blood time. Albia will start in the down position. Matt McMillan will be riding. 8-0, 59 seconds left in the second period. We're at 195 pounds in the second round of state duels, consolation side of the bracket. Start off, Matt looking for heavy hips. Flattens out. Albia works an arm back, looks for the half Nelson. Not there. But when he's fighting that half Nelson, that brings that other arm up, and Matt slipped in the bar arm. Just great awareness of where he's at. He's got a double bar arm now. He's out to the side, walking it, jumping around. He just needs to run one side, work it slow. Here we go. Bar arm, wrist is back. I wish he'd give the old little Romanian here and just walk it. Back up to our base. And out of bounds. Ref calls locked hands. Interesting how you get locked hands in a bar arm situation, but once again, I'm in the press box. Whistle blows. 9 seconds left. Sitting on our butts. Matt's got legs in. 3 seconds left. 8-1. We move into the third period. Matt McMillan over Jacob West. 8-1. Jacob West picks down. Matt instantly breaks him down, flattens him out, working on getting an arm back. There's a crossface into a Butcher. Looking for a cradle, maybe a little Butcher. He's rolling him into a ball. He's got the cradle locked up, brings him back slow. Gets a couple for back points. Good job by Matt there, getting a couple back points. Nice little cheap cradle to make sure you got the major. It's 10-1 with 1:24 to go in the third. Matt riding heavy, looking for another tilt. He's got a half Nelson in, got the legs in. Got a 1 count. Now we're getting counts. Now we're looking for it. It's tight. On the edge of the mat. There's the pin. There's the fall. Good job, Matt McMillan. That's a way to stick with it. Kid didn't want to give up much for 5.5 minutes. Matt stuck with it, kept finding new ways. Moved in the right position, caught the other kid out, stuck him. That's how he did it, folks. Stayed in control. We now move on to the 220-pound weight class where we have Crawford, I believe, of Independence wrestling. We have Hunter Crawford of Independence at 220 wrestling Trevor Blackford of Albia. Hunter Crawford, a sophomore from Independence, wrestling Trevor Blackford, a senior. On our feet to begin with. Lots of pummeling and pushing. Hunter looking again for that outside single that he tried in the first match. We slide out of bounds. Not too much action in the first 26 seconds here. Everybody just seems to be feeling each other out. Minute 12 to go. Hope Hunter's in on a good shot, just couldn't suck the leg in. He's really got to commit. Really got to commit to that shot. He's got a lot of shots where he gets in on the leg and then he wants to back away. It's right there. Now he moved into a front headlock. Hunter circling strong. Lots of pressure there by Hunter. Good job. Way to move. Constant attack. Constant attack. Just got to commit. It's right there. We're looking for inside tie, wrist control. Now I moved into a pummeling, over under. Crawford looks for the shuck by. He's got the leg. Moves. Ooh. Has the single leg. He's got his head buried though. He needs to pop his head to the outside. Zalbia's getting really heavy. Crawford now down to his knees. Still hanging on to that leg. Still hanging on that leg. Circle, circle. He's got it trapped. He's just got to drive over it now. He's driving over. There's two. There's two for Hunter Crawford. Way to stick with it. Out of bounds. No points. 10 seconds to go. 2-0. Great job by Hunter Crawford. Way to stick with that single leg. He got his head buried underneath, but he never quit moving forward. That's a good job. That's how you finish a shot. 10 seconds to go in the first period. Caution on Hunter. He's got his head stuck out to the side. That's 10 seconds left. We're looking here. Just hold him down. Ride that ankle for 10 seconds. That's okay. I'm okay with that. That's the end of the first period. Hunter Crawford with your takedown up 2-0. Going into the second, Hunter Crawford defers. Albia chooses down. Team score is 24-10 Independence. We have moved on to the 7th match. We're at the 220-pound weight class. Off the whistle, Crawford looks for wrist control, flattens him out. He's trying to work an arm back. Albia works back up to his base. Try to run forward. Get a locked hands call on Hunter Crawford. Never let him officially come all the way up when he locked his hands. Off the whistle now, minute 36 to go. Hunter riding really hard. Just gave up that locked hand. Scores 2-1 in the second period. Looking for a Butcher. He's got him flat. He's running it over. Slow. There's starting to count back points. Stay heavy right there. There you go. On your toes. On your toes. He's in a perfect position. He's just got to sit there. He's got a minute 15. He's not going anywhere. There it is. Good fall. Way to look for the Butcher. Nice move. Nice move, Hunter Crawford. That's what you look for. The 285-pound class will have Austin Larkin going again up against the number 1 ranked kid in the state, undefeated Carter Isley from Albia, 33-0. First period starts, 10 seconds in. Carter Isley looking in on an outside single. He looks really good. Took him down. Trying to flatten him out. Austin's got his base underneath him. He's slowly working up, but gets cradled. Cradled. He's got to break the grip. Got to break the grip. Carter ends up pulling him over. Counts there. Grip's tight. Austin fighting, kicks out. Gives up 3 back points. We got to score 5-0. Minute 27 left to go in this first period. Carter Isley's a senior. Isley out in front on a front headlock. Flattens down, moves into a Butcher. Austin's trying to work his base up and get some hand control when he does. .53 seconds left to go in the first period. Austin giving up a bar arm. Carter runs it. Slips out. We're back to square one. Carter now right on the edge of the mat trying to run it over. Austin fighting, pushes his knee out. You got 37 seconds left. And he gets slowly walked over, and this is tight. This is really tight, folks. These are some big boys, and this is tight. Austin fights right through it and only gives up 3 back. That's a great job. Fantastic fight. Never giving up. Pushing through. Carter switches sides. We're back. Got Austin on his back again. Bar arm from the other side. This one's not nearly as tight. That's the end of the first period. Score 11-0 for Carter Isley over Austin Larkin of Independence.
A reminder to wrestling fans that our 1 p.m. round will feature semifinal dual meets in all 3.
Carter Isley chooses down to start the second period. Austin Larkin working really hard to break him down. They're on the edge of the mat. They go out of bounds. Isley will start down again. Austin flattens him out. We get near the edge of the mat again. Lots of movement here with the big boys. Something you always enjoy to see. Minute 42 left here in the second period. Score 11-0. Team score is 30-10. Independence in the lead. And Isley gets away. Now score 12-0 in the second period with a minute and a half to go. Austin's out here just fighting. Fighting, never giving up. Not letting Carter push into him too. He's always moving back. Carter gets in on deep double leg. Austin fights it off. Now we're in front headlock. Another double leg by Carter. This time Austin gets taken down, and we now have a 14-0 score with a minute 7 to go in the first period. Isley just sitting on the legs. Now he moves up, works wrist control back. Austin needs to get his base under him. Trying to work his way up. Isley looking for another bar arm. Looks like he's got it locked up and he's running it over. No points yet. Austin fighting it off. And there's the final 2 points. Carter rolls right back around. And that's the end of the match. 16-0. Technical fall for Carter Isley over Austin Larkin. Team score now 15-30. Independence in the lead. As we move on to 106 pounds. Which gets you Holden Griffith, I believe. Holden Griffith, a freshman at 106, going against Albia's Aiden Reeves, a freshman as well, 29-1 on the season. I believe Aiden Reeves is also ranked number 1 at the 106-pound weight class. We have a takedown for Aiden, and then he lets up Holden. Holden trying to get a headlock in on Aiden, and it does slips out. Aiden now with the takedown. We have a score of 4-1 with 1:27 to go in the first period here. Holden in on a shot. Takedown by Aiden, 6-2 with 1:18 to go. Aiden looking at a deep half in. Slowly turns Holden over, getting back points, looking for the fall. Slips into a headlock. 57 seconds to go. There's the fall. Aiden Greaves pins Holden Griffith at 106 pounds. Team score now Team score now 21-30. Independence in the lead as we move on to the 113-pound weight bracket. We'd like to say thank you to our sponsors, Adams Family Furniture, Bachman Tool and Die, Bank Iowa, Bill's Pizza and Smokehouse, Eschen Tarpey Napa, Keegler and Aaron, Mary's Flower Patch and Gifts, Medical Associates of Independence, Ola Iowa Real Estate and Insurance, Security State Bank, Smith D&L Insurance, Wapsie Valley Creamery. We'd like to really say thank you to all you guys for promoting and sponsoring the Independence Mustangs wrestling team down here at the state dual tournament. As we move on to the 113-pound weight class, we've got Storm Little, a junior for Albia, wrestling Jarrett Orr, a sophomore from Independence. Jarrett Orr with the takedown in the first period, had a nice single leg right on the edge of the mat. We'll be starting fresh. Albia will be down. Off the whistle, Jared Orr moves down to the ankle, runs pressure in, has a cradle locked up tight. There's the fall. Jared Orr with a quick cradle in the fall. These Independence kids really know how to cradle. Good Lord, they're looking for it everywhere. Quite the sight to see. Looks really good. Team score now of 21-36. Independence in the lead. Jared Orr with the fall there at 113. Moving on to the 120 weight class. We're going to have Gage Wilson, a freshman from Albia, versus Colin Fischels of Independence. Colin Fischels looks for the headlock, slips out, but he gets the takedown. Now he's working a butcher. He's walking around front. Backs out of the butcher, moves into the cradle. We got a cradle again. It's tight, folks. He's got his leg wrapped up. We got about 1:26 left. And there's 3 back points. We got a score of 7-0 for Colin Fischels. That cradle was tight, and he's looking for a cradle again. He's got it. He's trying to pull him over slow. Make sure it's super tight. He's got to trap that leg. Albia's kicking the beat all get out. There's the fall for Colin Fischels at 120. Pinned by cradle. Team scores now 21-42. Moving on to the 126-pound weight class. We're going to have Jacob Wolf of Independence, a senior, taking on David Morris, a freshman of Albia. Moving on, we've started here with about 1:50 to go, starting on our feet in the first period. Everybody wrestling real strong. Wolf's in on a deep single leg, lifts it to a high crotch, takes him down, finishes strong. Riding tough. One escape for Albia. So we got a score of 2-1 on our feet with 1:24 to go here in the first period. Wolf working that inside tie really hard, moving along. He's got a single leg right near the edge of the mat. Albia gets a shucks by though and gets a takedown right on the edge of the mat. We're moving 3-2 now the score. Wolf will start down, 1:05 left in the first period. Wolf looking for wrist control as he's trying to come up. Tosses the Albia kid right up and over his hip. In a little scramble, and now Albia is back behind the hips. We're moving along.
Results class 1A quarterfinal at mat number 4.
At 126 pounds, it's 3-2. Albia over Independence at the moment. The first period with 40 seconds left to go. Team score is Independence winning 42-21. Albia looks in for a deep half, gets Wolf to his back. Wolf gets out, but not before giving up back points. Now Wolf's got the head. Albia's high. Oh, he slips back. He's got a leg in. Score 6-2 with 10 seconds left. Legs in for the Albia kid. He's looking for more back points. Wolf needs to square up his hips, stay flat, get through this period, and move on. Wolf's choice moving into the second period, and he picks neutral. Looking for another good shot on the Albia kid. They keep circling, fighting, hand fighting on the edge of the mat. Minute 46 left to go. Got a whizzer in. Oh, and he just lets it slip by, and Albia comes over to the top. Gets a takedown. Score of 8-2. Albia in the lead with 1:30 to go in the second. Albia riding really, really high. You know, if Wolf could just get his hips up, give a little bump, we might be able to slip out the back door here. On the edge of the mat, though, looks like we'll be starting fresh. Yep, back to the middle we go with 1:10 left to go in the second period. 8-2 the score. You got Jacob Wolf versus David Morris. Wolf gets broken down. He's flattened out right now. Albia's looking for wrist control, trying to slide a wrist back. Wolf needs to scoot his hip out just a little bit and get his base squared under him. There you go. Comes up to his base. Looks for a roll. Albia's high. So high all the time. There. Wolf turns into him now. And then Albia scoots around for the back. 33 seconds left to go. 8-2 here in the second period. Wolf flattened out right near the edge of the mat. He needs to see where he's at. Maybe he can scoot forward or get his base under him. There's his base. Grabs the arm, looks for coming out the back door. It's right there on the edge of the mat. Runs out of time. Started finally circling, had caught the kid's head. Just ran out of time there in the second period. So we move into the third period. Albia's decision. Albia picks neutral. And Wolf instantly looking for a fireman's. He's got it. Now he's got to look for back points. Got to pop his head out. He's got it trapped in between two arms. He's got the takedown. He's got 8-4 now with a minute 40 to go in the third. Wolf getting back points. Almost had that half Nelson sunk. If he'd sucked that half Nelson, we would have had major back points. Albia ended up being able to roll through because we couldn't sink that half in time. He lifted the leg and just shoved him over. It was just too much. Needed to slow down just a little bit, but it was there. That was great job. Minute 21 left to go in the third period. We got a score of 8-4. Albia in the lead. David Morris over Jacob Wolf. Caution on Jacob. Whistle starts. Wolf looking to break him down, flatten him out. Get some wrist control. Albia turns into him right on the edge of the mat, stands up, turns into him, and gets the one escape. We're back to our feet, folks. Now, if David could be looking for that, or Jacob could be looking for that fireman's carry again, I mean, it's there. He hit it really pretty, just had to pop his head out. He's pushing into him. Albia just backing up, running off the edge of the mat. Sure enough, gets a stall call. That took off 3 seconds, folks. All he did was back right off the edge of the mat. We got a minute left. Jacob down by 5. 9-4 is the score in the third period here. Jacob's just got to stay aggressive. Moving into him already. Whistle blows. Jacob's pushing. Albia just backing up. Looking for the edge of the mat. Going to get a stall call against him again here real quick if we keep this up.
Again, a reminder that our 1 p.m. round will feature semifinal no meets in all 3 classes, plus the 1A.
Albia backing up again off the whistle, looking for the edge of the mat. Jacob Wolf just pushing. There's a stall call again on Albia. We got one more for Jacob. Now it's 9-5. It's just constant pressure. It's what I like to see. These Independence kids are constantly moving forward, just pushing. Wolf in on a leg. Albia trying to stretch out. Wolf's trying to suck him in right on the edge of the mat. 25 seconds left to go in the third. Stands up, lifts it. He's almost got him, just got tripped. Keep his feet in. That's 2. 2 right there on the edge. Hopefully. Come on, ref. Ref says no points, much to my disagreement. Jacob pushing again. You know, he's never backed down. He's always been moving forward. Always moving forward in this match. Always fighting. Looking for a headlock. Slips. Albia gets a takedown with 1 second left. Final score is 11-5. David Morris wins. Team score will now be 24 Albia, 42 for Independence. Moving on to the 132-pound class, we will have Kobe Thomas of Albia versus Tanner Erickson Dale of Independence, I believe. Yep, we will have Tanner Erickson Dale versus Kobe Thomas. First period gets underway, minute 45 left to go. A lot of hand fighting, circling. Albia gets in on a really poor shot. Tanner stuffs the head and they move out of bounds. Minute 30 to go. Circling, hand fighting, pummeling. Heavy hands, really heavy hands on the back of the head. These two are really fighting. Tanner in on a fireman's, trying to finish it. Let's go of the arm. Hangs on to the leg though. Albia trying to stretch him out. He's got that ankle. Tanner needs to keep circling. Turn into him. Gives up the 2 at the end there. Gets flattened out. Tell you what, folks, this has been some really fun wrestling to watch. Definitely got some wrestlers to be proud of here down at the State Dual Tournament. Tanner trying to fight up to his base, down 2-0 with 44 seconds to go in the first period. On the edge of the mat now, 30 seconds left. Ref calls him out of bounds. They're just fighting for wrist control right now, trying to get the better position. A lot of wrist control fighting going on. Tanner up off the whistle right away, turns, faces him, gets the 1 escape on the edge of the mat. 24 seconds to go, 2-1 is your score. Way to explode off the whistle. That was a really good job of hearing it and then going for it. Tanner now trying to pummel inside. Tries a little shuck by. Sweep it into the ankle. Misses the ankle. Now he's in on a single leg fireman's. He's got the takedown. Looking for back points. He's got back points. That's the end of the first period. We picked up a takedown in the fireman's and we picked up 3 back points. Great job by Tanner, staying super aggressive there at the end of the first period. Now we got to score 6-2 going into the second period. Tanner just being aggressive, always moving forward. Hits that fireman's carry to the back. Albia chooses down to start the second. Tanner trying to suck him back. Gets his head high. Has to turn and face him. We got 1 escape Albia on the edge of the mat. Tanner just got high in a flurry there, right there at the beginning off the whistle, and Albia grabbed his head, which stalled Tanner, and he couldn't swing around behind the hips. On the edge of the mat, Albia turned and faced him, got his 1 escape. Got a minute 32 left here in the first period. Lots of hand fighting again. These two are really going at it. Shot, reshot. Now we're clawing at each other's face. And we've got, wow. We had a warning against red and 1 point green. I do believe it's because of how much they're punching each other in the head. Wanting to get a little aggressive, too aggressive, I guess is the ref thought. They're really, really pushing on each other's head. Looking for that inside control. Now we're getting heavy hands. Tanner trying to circle. Albia just pushing forward, pushing forward. 7-3 with a minute to go in the second here. Tanner looking for a shuck by, couldn't find it. He's locked in pretty tight in this tie-up that they've got. Now we're looking for wrist control. Tanner trying to back out. Tanner in on a shot. Looks for the fireman's again. Switches to a Kelly. Can't finish, but he needs the face. Gets his arm up and around. Comes around again. Got the leg. And they go out of bounds. Tanner really stuck with that, got in a couple positions where he had to switch real quick, make great position adjustments, and they ended up rolling out of bounds. But Tanner had the takedown there at the end for sure if they'd been able to have more mat space. Tanner in on a really bad shot right there. Gets flat into his face, but he comes up. Albia got into a ball. Now we're looking for, there's the takedown for Tanner. 9-3, 15 seconds to go in the second. Tanner riding really heavy now. A lot of weight up front. Albie up to his feet. Time runs out though in the second. We got a score of 9-3 going into the third period. And Tanner picks neutral. We'll be on our feet going into the third period. Score of 9-3 here at the 132-pound weight class. Team score is 42 to Independence, 24 for Albia. If Independence were to win this duel, they will be wrestling again at 4:30 in the 5th and 6th place match. I am unsure of who their opponent will be. Tanner and Kobe Thomas are pummeling really hard right now. Circling, minute 20 to go here in the third period. Tanner trying to get that inside wrist control so he can work that shuck by and hit an ankle. As we've seen time and time again, maybe move into that fireman's. But we seem to be wrestling a lot on the edge of the mat lately. This whole period's been wrestled on the edge of the mat as we go out of bounds. Now we're getting really aggressive. Lots of pushing, extracurricular pushing going on. Little attitude. Nothing wrong with that. Wrestling's all about passion. 56 seconds here to go in the third period. Tanner up 9-3. Looking for a takedown. If he gets a takedown, we'll have a major decision. Circling. Always near the edge of the mat, though, this period. I don't know if Tanner's trying to play safe. Looking for wrist control, pushing. They go out of bounds again with 36 seconds here to go in the third period. On the restart, more hand fighting. Now we've stayed in the middle. We're circling. Tanner's pushing into Albia, looking for that takedown. Albia hits a shuck by. They go out of bounds. A little more extracurricular pushing. 24 seconds left to go. $15 seconds left to go. 9-3. More hand fighting. Stall call on Albia. Interesting, since he's the one who's been shooting lately, but in the end it won't matter. Albia in for a double leg. Tanner fighting it off. 3, 2, 1. That's the end of the match. Tanner wins 9-3. Making the team score 45-24. We now move on to the 138-pound weight class where you have Drew Davis facing Dominic Morris, a freshman from Albia.
Results on mat number 6, 3A consolation semifinal. Waverly Shamrock 55, Indianola 18.
Off the whistle, we've got Drew Davis in on a shot. Albia scoots out of bounds. So we start again on our feet with a minute 48 to go. In for a fireman's Drew Davis. Ends up letting go of the leg, and we're back up to our feet with over-unders on each. Shot by Albia. Drew slips around to the back, gets his 2 points. Kind of a goofy. Oh, gets a neck wrench. Now we got a Saturday Night Ride right on the edge of the mat. Drew needs to sink his hips down, look his head up. There it is. Just needs to sit there.
Results on mat number 1.
Albia pushes himself almost out of bounds. We are real close. 45 seconds here to go. Neck wrench still in tight. Drew trying to find the right position to pin. He needs to sink his hips down and lift his head up. He's kind of posting, helping out the Albia kid. Albia fights off his back near the edge of the mat. We're on our side now, but still got that neck wrench or cow catcher now in deep. No back points have been awarded. 18 seconds left to go in the first period. Drew tightens it up, stacks him up on the edge of the mat. 8 seconds to go. I don't know if the kid's got his shoulder off. That'll be the end of the first. 5-0 will be your score. Drew tried about 3 different pinning combinations on Albia as we were on the edge of the mat there. Drew picks down to start the second period. Instantly gets a reversal. Looking for back points. Ends up Albia's in on a leg now. Drew looking to circle. Lets the Albia kid up for 1. So we got scored 7-1 with 1:36 to go here in the second period. Drew's got an over-under. Now he's hand fighting. They break apart. Circle in the middle. In on a single leg. He's got his head stuck underneath though. Lifts it straight up. Tries to pop out the door. Now they're sitting to the butt. Drew needs to kind of pop his head out. He needs to slide his hand inside next to his ear and pop that leg up so he can slip his head out and he come out the back door. There it goes. There it is right there. Nice job by Drew. Way to stick with it. Didn't panic when he got in a tight spot. Held his ground. Stayed in control. 9-1 now with 52 seconds left to go in the second period. Right off the whistle, we're looking for a switch from Albia. Drew follows through. Albia hops the hips. Drew just plants him. In a scramble again. Drew out front, trying to circle around behind. Albia hanging on to his arm like it's a death grip. Drew uses the 3/4 to turn the kid to his back. We got back points now, and Drew's walking him. 30 seconds left to go. And Drew's looking for the pin. He's in a headlock. He's moved to the headlock position. He's tightened out. Now he just needs to sit. Sit to his heels and lift. There you go. Circle it slow. Circle towards the head. Hip heist through. 12 seconds left. There's the fall. Good job by Drew Davis with the pin. Team score now is 24-51, and I believe that wraps up this dual meet between your Independence Mustangs and Albia. I'll run through the scores again, give the final team score, give a shout out to our sponsors, and that'll be all for this round. At 145 pounds, we had Seth House versus Bryce Leishan. Leishan with the pin, started off Albia 6-0. At 152 pounds, we had Luke House versus Blake Lawless. Lawless won 3-11 for a major decision, making the team score 10-0 in favor of Albia. At 160 pounds, Jake Jewell was against Brett Martin, and Jake Jewell got Independence on the board with a pin. Team scored 10-6. At 170 pounds, Nick Holt versus Trevor Cromray ended up with a pin for Nick Holt. 10-12 was the team score. Elliot Ryan took on Ben Mason with a cradle. Pinned Ben Mason. Team score after 182 pounds is 18-10. Mac McMillan trotted out at 195 pounds against Jacob White and pinned him. Team scored 24-10. Hunter Crawford at 220 pinned Trevor Blackford. 30-10 team score. At 285, Carter Isley from Albia pinned Austin Larkin, or actually it was technical fall at 285. Team score is 30-50. Then we went to 106 pounds. At Griffith Holden, lost by pin to Adam Green, Bracero. won. So team score is now 30-21. At 113, Jared Orr had a pin versus Storm Little. 36-21 team score. Colin Fischels pinned Gage Wilson at 120 pounds. Team score 42-21. Jacob Wolf at 126 took on David Morris and lost 11-5. Team score 42-24. 132 pounds. Kobe Thomas from Albia took on Tanner Erickson Dale from Independence. Tanner Erickson Dale picks up the victory 9-3. Team score 24-45. Then 138 pounds in the final bout. Drew Davis pinned Dominique Morris. So the final team scores your Independence Mustangs 51, Albia 24. Like I said earlier, we'll be wrestling at 4:30. Opponent to be determined. I'd like to thank our sponsors: Adams Family Furniture, Bachman Tool and Die, Bank Iowa, Bill's Pizza and Smokehouse, Ishin Tarpey Napa, Keegler and Aaron, Mary's Flower Patch and Gifts, Medical Associates of Independence, Old Iowa Realty, Real Estate and Insurance, Security State Bank, Smith D&L Insurance, Wapsie Valley Creamery. Again, thank you for supporting your Independence Mustangs down here at State Duels. It's been an absolute pleasure for the first two duels. We'll have a third one coming at you at 4:30. We'll probably go live about 4:27, 4:28. Look forward to seeing how everybody does and looking forward to our opponent. Again, appreciate everybody dropping in and listening. And hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll catch you again at 4:30.